Good afternoon. In this video, we're going to go over this past week's trades and a weekly recap. Before I get into the recap, if you're not in the room, you can find the link in the description of the video and in my bio section of social media accounts. Also, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Now, this past week was a short week. I finished the week with 12 wins and 2 losses for a win rate of 85.71%. So I got over 85%. I'm definitely pleased about that. So I can't complain about that at all. So now on Monday, well, not Monday, Tuesday, the 30th. Let's see. Yeah, Tuesday the 30th. Traded his room. I said SPY puts under 421. Okay, where's the 30th? Right there. Now I picked the puts because I had a nice run up on Friday. It had a run up Sunday, Monday we were closed, but the futures was open. Then Tuesday morning it kept running up, so I was looking at puts. It was pretty overbought in my opinion, so that's why I was looking for puts on Tuesday. And let's see, what did I say again? The 421, which is this low right here. Oh no, it was down here, right here, this low. I could have picked here, but I don't really like picking a play when it's like 20 cents away from the last higher low. I don't like that. I kind of, if I have to, I'll go to the next round number, or I'll pick the next higher low and go from there. So that's what I did. So first play was at 9:43. First 10-minute candle, I waited out. Started to pop a little bit. Then once it broke below lower day, which was right here, I'll blow this up more so you can see. First 10-minute candles right here. Then it opened the second 10-minute candle right here, popped up a little bit. Then it came underneath it. Once it broke below a day, that's where I grabbed the 40 to 42 15 puts at 750, and they went from 750 to 920 in that dip right there. Then it popped back up. And I didn't reload. I wasn't sure about if I wanted to reload or not, because being a long weekend, the market just tends to act a little more crazy on the first opening day after a long weekend. So once it broke lower day and I was able to get that, I didn't want to reload and have it just rage on me, because it's been doing that where it will like start to look weak. Let's see which day it did that. Like right here. Started to look weak, then it just bounced at open, right? And I didn't really do it there, but it did it a couple of times this week, last week. Yeah, right here. So that said, I waited till about 10:25 for the next trade. Let me get back to the right day. 10:25, which was right here. Got bought back up, came up to VWAP up to 20 EMA, got rejected once it broke below the body of these candles right here, the 421. I grabbed 42.15 puts again at 850, and they went from 850 to 1330 in that drop right there. That was definitely a smoother play to wait for. I mean, you could have tried and looked at over 422 for calls, but it never got there. But when it rejected this area, in fact, I might have actually been doing that, looking at that at that time. But because it bounced and rejected the 20 EMA, which is this blue line, and came back down once it broke below this area, and that was a good area to grab puts, so I did that. Then I grabbed puts again at 155, which is probably right here. No, not 155, right here. Yeah, I could have grabbed it right there. I probably did in my challenge account, but I don't think I did. I didn't. I mean, obviously I didn't in my main account. I'm not sure if I did in my challenge account. I don't cover those, but they had this drop right here, green candle, and started to bounce a little bit. But when I broke below this 419, I think 35 areas where I grabbed it. I grabbed the 4,200 puts at 820, and they went from 820 to 1050 in that drop right there. Then I switched to calls at 327, which was right. 327 327 right here. I probably should have got it right there, but I probably didn't because you get these three big green candles in a row. I don't really want to buy, and it's right at VWAP. I probably was thinking about grabbing calls through VWAP. I just, after these big green candles, I kind of like hesitated a little bit. So it pulled back, it bounced off the 20 EMA, and when it came back up to the 420 45 area, and that's where I grabbed calls. I grabbed the 4205 calls of $5, and they went from $5 to $6. And I grabbed it here because it rejected VWAP, came back to the 20 EMA, bounced a little bit, it came quickly back to VWAP, and I wanted to get a push through it. And it didn't quite push through it. I mean, it got to it. Maybe I pushed over just a tiny bit, then it quickly came back down. But if you playing the last half an hour of the day, you got to get in and out because the volatility can make them go worthless really, really fast. You can lose 50% of its value in a minute or even less. So if you have an end of the day call, end of the day option, the last 30 minutes, and you're up $1 plus, you got to take it because you could be down $2 or $3 in a flash. So, which is what happened here. So I took it. End of the day has been very, very tough to play. So now on the Wednesday, let's see, Wednesday. Traded his room on Wednesday. SPY puts in a 418 right here. What time did I put that? 919. So that was up here. Yeah, and I used that low right there, rounded down to the round number. Popped up. I just wasn't looking at calls at this particular time. I mean, I could have bought calls over higher day because of the green candle, and it made new higher day, but it quickly got rejected. But I got puts right here, right when it broke below this 418 level. Yeah, right here, 418.15, because I would have gone off the body of these candles and the wick right here. So that is the area I would have grabbed it right here. That lined up perfect. So that's where I grabbed it. Grabbed the 4180 puts at 780. And they went from 780 to 1620 in that big dump right there. Went 100%. So that was a good play. Then I grabbed puts again at 1106, which is right here. FU setup, big red candles, green candle, giving me a little bit of hope. It started to get a good bounce up on the next candle, didn't quite get there. So when it broke below the 416 60 area, I used the body of these candles because the reason I did that, usually if it was an FU candle, I would use this right here because the candle's right here is an inside candle. I would use the low on this, but because this candle had a little continuation and ended up coming back down, therefore I switched it. Instead of using this low, I used this one right here, the bodies, instead of the actual wick. And that's where I grabbed the 4165 puts at 650, and then went from 650 to 780 right there in that little drop. Now if I used the bottom wick, I probably wouldn't got much of a play, maybe a 10-20 cents maybe if I'm lucky at a SPX before it reversed. So that was a smart decision actually to do that and adjust, because I'm always adjusting based on things like that. So then I took calls at 1234, which is right here. Get a little bit of inverted head and shoulders right here. You get the left, you get the head and the right shoulder. So I took it in this candle right. Actually, I think I took it in this candle right here. All right, when it got above the 417 area for a split second. I grabbed the 4175 calls at 610. And they went from 610 to 820 right there. So that ended up being a nice play. Then I waited to what, 343, 353, which is right here. Right here. No, right here. I didn't take it here. For some reason I didn't take calls here. I probably should have. Got a nice cup and handle right here. Big cup and a small little handle. I should have taken that. Maybe I didn't think it was gonna it was going to go. I'm not quite sure what I was thinking at this point in time. It's hard to think back what I was thinking at that particular time. I probably didn't think it was going to break. Being end of day, that's probably what I was thinking. I don't know. But anyways, it rejected higher day, which is right up here. It rejected that when it came underneath the 419. I broke below right around the foot. I think I was using 418.50 for a level because I remember typing that in the room. I got below the 418.50 level, which is basically this high right here. When it broke below this high right here, that's where I ended up grabbing it. I grabbed the 41.90 puts at 480, and they went from 480 to 1060 right there in that dump. So that ended up being a huge dump. So that worked out pretty good. Now on to Thursday. This day was very difficult to play. Well, I'll get to that in a second. Traded newsroom on the first. SPY puts under 417.50, which is right here. The low of this wick. First candle was red. Yeah, first candle was red. When it broke below lower day of this candle, I grabbed puts. I grabbed the 41.70 puts at 790, and they went from 790 to 870. Not much of a play. Then it turned around and ripped. And I didn't play calls right there. I probably thought about it, and I just was not expecting this. I think that we had some news that day too. If I look back, let's see what the news was on unemployment claims was higher, and then we had PMI coming in low. We had a lot of negative news that day, and yet it just kept not caring. So this is when PMI came out right here, and it looked like a fake out. In fact, I bought puts at 11.50, which is right. Where is 11.50? Right here. Why did I buy it at 421? Oh, I see why I bought it right here. I mean, look at this. the hourly. You got this right around the 420, 80 to 421. Remember, its resistance is not an exact number, it's an area. So right around the 421, we had a lot of resistance right here on the hourly. So I thought it was going to have a bit of a resistance, at least a reaction to it, like hit 421 and pull back like 50 cents and then possibly rip. But it had zero reaction to it and just steamrolled right through it. This SPY has been doing this. That it respects the support, but when it comes to really strong resistance, it just barrels through it like nothing. Look at this 414 area right here. It just ripped through it like nothing, and it's a major hourly right here, and it went through it like nothing. And SPY just does that all the time. It respects the support levels, but the resistance levels, it starts getting momentum. It just doesn't care. It doesn't even blink. It doesn't flinch. It just goes straight through. That's a loss I could have avoided. I probably should have waited for a little bit of weakness. I grabbed the 42.10 puts at 580, and then I just ended up stopping out because it just kept going. Then I took puts at 124, which is right here, this candle. You got this massive run up, and it's making all these inside candles right here. So once it broke below the 421.50 area, this is where I grabbed the 42.20 puts at 650, and then went from 650 to 840 in that little dump right there. So I've got a couple small wins right there and a loss. I am not a fan of these straight up days. I do not like them, especially when there's bad news. And I like to try to not think about the bad news, but VIX was also like, let's see, where was VIX at this particular time? VIX was super low. This is Thursday, right? The first. This is the first, right? Yeah, I mean, VIX is right at below the 15 level. Right at the below 16, it's right around 15.60 75-ish. We'll say, yeah, that was 1580. I mean, they got hourly support right here. It just, you can't, VIX just goes through everything. So VIX doesn't really care about support as much as SPY does. But I mean, it just, VIX to me was under 16, low mid 15s, and SPY is just raging. I'm like, okay, the top has got to be in. The top has got to be in. And anytime you think the top is in, it just keeps raging more. You think it's in, then it rages more. Then they actually have a dump end of the day. So I mean, if you tried to like short it here, which we did, you got lucky and got out, took it in and out, and got. But if you actually held it, you would have got screwed. And if you took it here, and you would have got screwed because they pushed it again. Because technically, we like to watch for when it starts to show weakness, the people will pile in the puts. And when they do, especially after this exaggerated run, us included, but we took it, we got in and out. But if you tried to hold it for a big run, they push it to take out the stop. So this was a trap, and now that they took out the stops, people probably loaded puts right here, and thinking that, okay, the top is in because VIX is minus 1550, well, not 1550, but mid 15s. And VIX is getting low, and the SPY is getting overbought by a lot, that they probably try to grab the puts right here. And then again, trap number 2, they have an exaggerated move again to take out the stops, and then they dump it. This is just trap after trap, then they finally dump it. It's just, you just don't know which time it's actually going to drop, because the market makers like to play head games. So it's annoying that they do that, but it is what it is. And I'm not a fan of these straight up days because it's end up being traps. And this was a flag, but like I said, SPY was very overbought, and VIX was really, really low. And I don't like buying calls when things are overbought and VIX is too low, because all it takes is a big sell or a headline, and SPY is going to take a massive dump really, really fast. So you either stay out and be patient, or you just don't trade it. I mean, you can chase it, and like I always say, it's always easy to look at the chart after the fact and say, yeah, this was easy, I should have done this, I should have done that. But when you're in real time, you got to think of the scenarios. VIX was very, very low, SPY was overbought, a lot of bad news hitting, and just SPY's ignoring it. To me, just was a tons of reasons to be bearish, but the chart just wasn't. So that's when you just wait it out. The SPY just can be so ridiculous, and it was. Now, SPY just had another ridiculous day on Friday. Even though we had an end of the day drop, started the rebound on Thursday, it just started ramping up overnight. Then we had news, which was what was that on Friday? Unemployment rate, which is higher, which is bad. Of course, the market took it and ran. Market somehow has it in its head that the Fed's is gonna cut rates. I don't know why they would think that. Why would they even think that at all? Because they haven't even stopped raising rates, for one. Inflation is still going up. I mean, it dropped a little bit, but it's starting to go back up. They pause rates, let alone cut, the inflation is going to rage. They can't afford to cut, because inflation is going to take off. And you don't cut rates in a strong economy. If the economy is as strong as everyone is saying it is, and the numbers are supposedly saying it is, they would not be cutting rates. You cut rates when stuff is bad. You raise rates when stuff is good. But the market is not doing that. It's just going completely crazy. So I took puts at 10 o'clock, well, 9:58. Got this big red candle, green candle right here. Then we get this red candle, came back down when it got below the 424.50. That's where I got the 42.45 puts at 890, and they went from 890 to 1160 right there. So that ended up being a good play. Then it just took off. Going to be stupid again. So I tried to guess the top again, and I ended up paying for it. I grabbed puts at 1216. I mean, I could have bought calls right here, but like I said, VIX. I'm I'm not even going to keep the hourly up on that. I'm going to show me VIX at this particular time is down. Okay, where are we right here? If you bought calls at 10:30, which is right here, VIX is well below 15, right around 1450. You're not going to buy calls when VIX is 1450. That's just stupid, because this thing could dump at any moment. VIX is not going to go that low. I mean, yeah, back when Obama was president, VIX can go under 10, I mean, under 11, 10. But with all the things that's happening right now with China, with Taiwan and Russia and Ukraine, the war, and then you have all this political mess that's going on, inflation, economic numbers, housing. There's no reason to be looking at calls at when VIX is below 1450. It's just it's a huge trap that's going to end up catching everybody this week. I think that I'll talk about that in the watch list, but I think SPY is going to dump tomorrow and Tuesday. So because VIX is not going to get much lower than this based on what's going on, but I'm not buying calls with VIX that low. So I ignored it. So I bought puts at 1216, which is right here. You get the run up here, red candle, started to dip below it, then it popped back up, made a little bit of a smaller high, didn't quite get to high day, but it kind of rejected this 427.55 area. Then when it came back down right here, right near the 427 area, I grabbed the 42.75 puts at 750. Didn't grab that much, just in case, because SPY's been ridiculous. Then I averaged down. I sat and waited and averaged down at 218, which is right here. I averaged down right here. I remember this. I was thinking after I averaged down, I probably shouldn't because it came back down. I tested the 20 EMA. It's probably going to bounce. And it did. I added more at 310, making my new average 420. And then I ended up stopping out. Actually, no, I didn't stop out. I took a full loss on that. I remember that now. Then I just waited, and and at 316, 326, I took puts right here, right when it broke below the 328.35. You got this high, the body of this candle, and the wick, and this is where I grabbed it right here, 428.35. I grabbed the 42.85 puts at 290, and they went from 290 to 430 on that. Again, bounced off the 20 EMA. Try to get underneath it and it stayed above it. So crazy week. VIX is really, really, really low. We're going to have a rug pull next week. So, but anyways, that's going to do it for the recap. Hope this has helped. I definitely could have avoided one of the losses on Thursday. I think that I probably could have avoided this one too if I was a little more patient. But to me, I was looking at VIX. VIX should have had a big pop. SPY should have dropped. I mean, as this is going up, you can see histogram is going down, is diverging quite a bit. You get a big divergence going on, and you have VIX below 1450, and at some point you'd think that it was going to dump, and that's why I added here. So I probably shouldn't have taken it at all. I probably could have avoided both losses if I was I played a little better, but definitely the loss I took on Thursday, I front running that 421. I probably shouldn't have done that at all, but it is what it is. So that's going to do it for the recap. Thanks for watching.